So our relationship with government is through the Ministry of Higher Education and Training and through the Minister. There's a formal relationship, which is that he appoints a small number of people on our governing body, on the council of the university. And there's also a formal relationship in that we have to report annually how we've spent our money, and we in fact get audited. Our financial statements and our performance is audited under the auspices of the Auditor General, which is the government's auditor. So although we may appoint external auditors, firstly that has to be approved by the Auditor General, and those external auditors have to audit us according to a template which is approved by the Auditor General. So we're accountable for spending the money appropriately and efficiently, and for delivering on a whole lot of goals that we say we're going to do. How many students we're going to take, the balance between disciplines, balance of undergraduate and postgraduate, pass rates, research output, all of that is audited and reported, and we are expected to be accountable for that. That's the formal relationship. There's a less formal but still important and influential relationship which happens through moral pressure, probably. Moral pressure and public pressure. So, for example, the government is concerned about the pace of transformation of the demography of the student body. And quite frequently we will be invited by the Parliamentary Committee on Higher Education as a Vice-Chancellor to go there and to tell them what's happened to the transformation of the student body, to report on it. Now, they don't actually have the power to do anything about it. They don't have the power to cut our funding on the grounds that we don't have enough black students, for example. But the moral pressure and the publicity that arises from that through the media, and the impact of getting them, of me making a public statement at one point in time and then being called to account a year or two later to say, well, have you done what you said you were going to do? Have you in fact got more poor students in the university, or more first generation students, or more black students? That's powerful. And so there is that pressure. There's a concern that a particular problem that UCT has, which I think others don't have quite to the same extent, is that we're seen as an elite university, and I'm proud to be an elite university. I don't think we have any qualms about being an elite university, if that means that we are the best in our class. But they often slide that over into an accusation that we are an elitist university, meaning that we are exclusive and that we deny access. And that's of great concern to the government, given the politics of the country and transformation. And I believe that we are not an elitist university, that we have gone very far to overcome that. For example, we have admissions policies which explicitly make it possible, or bring in students often with far lower marks from disadvantaged backgrounds, with far lower marks than students from advantaged backgrounds. We know if it was just competition on marks, we would have very few of those students in, because it's so competitive to get into UCT. But we've created an admissions policy which says, well, we want at least so many black students or students from disadvantaged backgrounds, and we have a selection process which achieves that. We have a set of financial aid policies which ensure that no student who's accepted on academic grounds would be prevented from coming here for financial reasons. So we have a very generous financial aid system, which in fact is cross-subsidized by wealthy students. We charge high fees, and those fees, a significant share of that, goes into creating the financial aid packages for disadvantaged students. And so I don't think we exclude anyone on financial grounds, as another example. Some would say, well, it's just the culture of the place, that the university feels like it's not welcoming to students from different backgrounds and from poor backgrounds. And I've no doubt there's some truth to that. It's the hardest thing for us to change, to adapt. But I think we try to recognize it, and we try to find ways of addressing that too. So I reject the accusation that we're an elitist university, and that is an issue where we try hard, we liaise with government, and we try hard to get that message across in various ways. So, for example, I do, whenever I'm invited, attend parliamentary committees, budget speeches. I engage with politicians. We we have hosted the Minister of Higher Education for a day on the campus, showing him what we do, showing him what the student body looks like, answering his concerns and questions. We've had the Minister of Science and Technology and her department spend a day here. We try to offer seminars to parliamentarians because we happen to be based in Cape Town, which gives us easy access to them. We try to communicate our research to them to highlight the fact that our research is relevant and it's addressing local problems and it's doing so well, and that they need good universities that have the capacity to do that research in order to support them. So when the COP17 climate change conference took place in Durban, we put a lot of resources into making sure that the government's representatives were supported by a whole team of researchers who could help the government ensure that they were as well prepared for those debates as the ministers and representatives from any other country. So using our strengths to highlight the fact that we are relevant, that we contribute directly to national issues, to solving national problems, and that we're a huge asset to the country. So, but it's a pity sometimes, I mean, it's odd that we should even have to do that we should even have to persuade anyone, but there is that edge in the dynamic, in the relationship between UCT and politicians, because we're a historically advantaged university, once upon a time a white university, appear to be well resourced, certainly have inherited resources that are way above what many other universities in the country have, are seen to be a global and international class university, whereas many others are struggling to get to that level. And so it's easy for the thinking to slip into a view that we are somehow irrelevant to the country's needs, or only concerned about international status and not the local problems, or elitist, or only talking to a particular class of students. And we have to address that all the time. And I think, we put effort into doing so.